Hello, my family. Okay, so today is a day of hummus. Many of you asked me, and I think I've done a video on this before, but I'm going to go into it a lot more detail about making homemade hummus. I've seen where people have taken chickpeas and milled them down into flour and made this really smooth process of a chickpea or hummus. I'm actually going to show you some of the reasons what may cause you to have that gritty chickpeas or hummus. And I'm going to tell you my experience and why you can use canned from the store, but I actually prefer canning my own. There's a reason. Now, these you can make into roasted into snacks as well. They're still whole. They're just softer. And that's basically what we want for our hummus. And I'm going to show you in the end. But this is why I can my own. Now I'm going to tell you the difference between the home canned. We're going to go full detail about homemade hummus, because this is one snack that is extremely healthy, a high content or a product in the Mediterranean world, and the best thing you can ever have if you want to have a chip and dip. So first, we're going to go on day 2 of our microgreens. The sprouts, I just simply add your water and then let them sit. Again, you're putting them in a dark place. They don't need a light to set them aside. The microgreens is a different system. So let me show you right quick. Let's do this, and then I'm going to turn around and come back probably in another day, and then we'll do the next process on our microgreens. Right now, this is just going to be a repeat. So let's go over there, do our spritzing for the day, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, my darlings, so this is what we're going to do. You know we have our weight on here. It's been there. You're going to take your weights up. Now gently, you're going to keep this. Remember, you want to keep this as steady as possible without making a huge jarring around. You're just going to lift this up, turn it over, and lay it down. You're going to take your mister. You're going to come through here and mist your greens. You're going to find some of it is already starting to sprout, and it's going to start hitting that soil. Just mist this really good, and then gently mist this lid, because there's still seedlings on here. Now, we did this very gently because now we're going to lift this up, and it's going to go right back where it came from if we did this right. So we're going to turn this over gently, place this right on top, and it went back into place. Put your weights back on it, put it up, and you're going to do this for another day. After this, you actually want to start seeing the sprouts before we take the next step. So I'm going to check it tomorrow, and you do the same. When you start seeing this actually sprouting, then we're going to do the next step. Okay, onto our chickpeas. So here's what I'm going to do. I normally do not leave my rings on here. These went straight in the fridge because I didn't like the amount of liquid that I lost in it, so I did not put these on the shelf. One did not seal. They actually both didn't seal, so I kind of figured that. That's the reason why they went in the fridge. Hence the reason you just seen, never leave your rings on your jars. Okay? Seriously, they will give you a false seal, y'all. You will never know that your lids were, as you just seen, not sealed. That's the reason why I had these in the refrigerator. I actually put them in there as soon as they cooled off. So I kind of knew by the looks of my jars what was going to happen. And I am going to check my other ones and make sure they're all sealed. Now what I'm going to do, just like you would from a can, you're going to strain your chickpeas, but you're going to reserve that liquid. That liquid is going to give you flavor. So save it. And then I'm going to go rinse off my chickpeas. You don't have to, but I like to. I'm still going to get an immense amount of flavor. So I'm going to go rinse these, and then I'm going to show you one of the biggest things that's making everybody's hummus gritty. It is the one thing not being spoke about. So we'll be right back. Okay, so here is what we're going to do. There are 3 types of texture. You have your store canned. Okay, now yes, these are soft, but these are still kind of hard. If you think about it. Now, they're not soft, or they're not hard enough to make falafels, but they are a little bit, to me, if you want a very smooth hummus, this is not your way to go. Okay, there are 2 options to this. One, the texture of your chickpeas have to be at a right point to make the very smoothest hummus possible, not just by a flour. You can pressure can these, and then like I did here, or just pressure cook them and make them to a softness. Now you see these are still a whole, as you can see here, they're still whole, but they're softer, a lot softer in texture. So this is going to be perfect for hummus, but still it will come out gritty, and I'm going to show you why. Because there is a piece on here that will do it every single time, whether it's this, or cooking it by this. It is called a shell, or what we call a textured line. Do you see this? Y'all, when you dump that can into your food processor, you are mincing this up. This is where most of your grit is coming from, off of your chickpeas. Remove this liner and you will get a really good smooth hummus. Now, how do you do that? You can sit here and do this to every single chickpea. I've done it. Just to get that smoothness, I've absolutely done it. But there is another way, and I'm going to show that to you too. You can do that with store-bought can too. So let me get a bowl and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I'm also going to save you another step. If you do decide to use canned, you absolutely can do that. Now here's what I'm going to tell you to help you out. I would take this after I removed my casings. I would put this in water and I would cook it a little longer until I got that really soft textured. Other than that, I mean, you're good to go, y'all. So you can do this. I would just cook it just a little longer because they are quite firm. But now these are my canned ones. So I'm going to add this to the water. And I'm going to keep this because I'm going to strain it. But you see, this come right off. See right here? They're coming off again. So I'm just going to roll these gently. And I'm breaking off, just like this. I'm just breaking off these casings, y'all. Once I get all my casings, look at this, right here. And they'll float to the top. Just gently roll them, and they'll fall right off. Now, the canned ones take a little harder. So what I find I do with those is I'll pick them up, and I'll roll them like this. And it helps release those casings off of my chickpeas. This is doing the same thing, so... and I'm not mashing them. I'm just being gentle enough, and I'm pulling my casings off of every one of these. Just that simple. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. Once I do, we're going to come back and we're going to make our hummus. And I'm going to show you how smooth I can actually make ours. Okay, another option, I'm going to show you how simple this is. If you wanted to just pop them off of here individually, you just slightly pinch it at the bottom. Oops, I do that occasionally when I'm not paying attention. Anyways, I take the bottom, just pinch it, and it pops right off. Just that easy. Pinch it, pulls off. Pinch it, pulls off. Just that easy. Okay, y'all. So this took me maybe about 15 minutes. Now, oh my gosh, I can hear you now. 15 minutes? Seriously? Yes. But here's what I considered when I was doing this. There are several options I can think of, okay? I can just go ahead and throw my chickpeas into my blender, be done with it, and have whatever type of hummus. Just be happy I have hummus and not worry about the texture. That'd be simple as that. Or I could go to the grocery store and just buy some. However, I already know that that's not as healthy as making my own, so I'm either going to spend the 15 minutes to make the finest quality hummus and be happy with it. So here's what I have. This is all of that casings I was telling you. Please don't just throw these away. If you have a compost pile, you can also compost this. So it's getting a use in several ways. And I have a bowl of beautiful chickpeas ready to go for pureeing. Now, I will tell you, you don't have to do every single one of these. Just do most of it. So now, let's go to making our hummus. Okay, my darlings, so here's what we're going to do. Now, I have found in life that, well, personally, I just complain too much. And a lot of it is because I want it done my way. And you know what? Sometimes just life doesn't go our way. And I have to really sit back and think, how much do I want to do to get what I want? Sometimes I just got to work for it. You know, I did the convenience in life, and that convenience in life made me very, very unhealthy. Gave my husband diabetes, and I'm over it. So today I'm going to do what it takes to get what I like, eat healthier, and be able to enjoy what I have, even if it means a little bit of work of popping casings of chickpeas. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to give you a basic, just a bottom line base. With hummus, there are so many different recipes, but it needs a hummus base. That's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to add all of my chickpeas in here. Now this comes out to be about the size, honestly, of a 15.5-ounce can from the grocery store. Only because, first of all, I did not fill these jars. And if I'm going to make hummus, I'm actually going to probably use 2 jars to make this. So the recipe, and I will put this basic recipe in the description. I always give this to y'all. But this one required 1 can of chickpeas. Now we need 1 clove of garlic. What's nice about this, it's all going to get thrown in here, and that machine is going to do the work for me. I don't have to. So it was worth those casings just to do this, because the rest of it, easy peasy. And honestly, if I didn't want to keep doing this, I'd make me a big old batch. Only I know me, that would not be advisable. So I'll just keep working at it. Now I'm just going to pop that garlic clove in here. Just chop it. Now I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of reserved, hang on a second here, of the reserved liquid. That's why I saved it. And I'm going to continue to save it because instead of adding water, if I need to smooth this more, I'm going to add my flavored liquid. Now I'm going to need tahini, lemon juice, salt, and olive oil, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, lemons are getting quite expensive. It calls for using fresh. I absolutely agree with that. But at the price of these, I'm just going to use what I can get. I am looking into going to Azure and get the organic, though. So, for right now, I'm using this. So, there's my 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, I am using Azure Standards Tahini. This is amazing stuff right here. So, I am going to use 1/4 cup of tahini. Alright, there's my 1/4 cup. I'm really, really enjoying Azure Standards products enough that me and my husband look at what can we do next when we're finished. Or when we made an order, what can we use next to be able to put on our shelf and stock up, use it before we actually end up having to get any more. So I've got just about all my wheat berries. I'm going to be making my last Azure got restocked, so my last 2, we're going to do this and get it done. I did manage to find some kamut, and holy smokes, that was super, super expensive. So next time, I'm just going to be patient with Azure and get it when I can. So now the next, we're going to use a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm using Himalayan sea salt. And now I need a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And this is where it gets tricky. We will not add this olive oil straight into our container here. I am going to fill up my cup. Then I'm going to show you what we're going to do at this point. This is really actually kind of important. So I'm just going to set this aside for a minute. I'm going to put my top on here. And I'm first going to pulse this so I can break up all of my, chickpeas and everything. Okay, now this is going to get loud. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to run this on high and I'm going to drizzle my olive oil in here. Now I'm going to do this for a little while and then I'm going to cut it off so I don't get your ears. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Just like that. Now I'm going to finish this, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to get smooth already, so we'll be right back. Okay, let me show you where we're at the moment, and then I'm going to scrape down the sides. Do you see that? Do you see how smooth this is becoming? Let me go ahead and finish this off. We're going to scrape down our sides. Now, from here is when I will take a little bit at a time, probably about a teaspoon at a time. And that reserved liquid, y'all, that's when you'll go ahead and add that to this. You're not going to turn around and thin it out real bad. If you do it, like I said, slowly, until you get a super smooth texture. It's already practically there anyways. So let me go ahead. I'm telling you, those casings make a big difference. So I'm actually going to start with a tablespoon again. Get this just a little bit and we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so I'm trying to bring this in as close as I can to you because this stuff is as fluffy as a cloud. And we're going to go ahead and pour this into our bowl. I'm trying to get this on an angle where you can see this. This is amazing. And I used in mine about a tablespoon of reserved liquid. And you can see it's still, oh my gosh, fluffy. Smooth. Very, very smooth. And I love this. Now, again, this is just your basic. So from here, you can add olive tapenade to this. You can add tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes. You can dress this up any way you want to at this point because you have your basic. Now me, I'm just going to go ahead and dress this a very simple way, Mediterranean style. Now I do know that I do like the olive tapenade, which is using Kalamata olives in this. But I'm just going to do a very simple. Do you see this? Oh my gosh, y'all. Let me see. See that? See how pretty that is? It's a casings, y'all. It is the casings is what makes a difference when it comes to your hummus. Those casings do not break down as easy. And like I said, you don't have to do them all, just the majority. I mean, let's face it, some hummus does actually have texture to it. So, but now I'm just going to go ahead and make my circle. Well, that didn't do too well, but I'll show you why I'm doing this mess. Now, I'm going to take and drizzle my olive oil all the way around my... Oh, I cannot wait to get into this. There's my olive oil. And now I'm going to take some Mediterranean za'atar. And I'm going to sprinkle za'atar all over this. Just like so. And that's my hummus right there, y'all. Very simple, very flavorful, extremely creamy, and I'm ready for my snacking with it. That's how we make hummus on Parton's Heritage Homestead. And that's it, my family. This is simple as that. Yes, it takes time just for the casings, but as you've seen, after you take those casings off, it takes no time at all to whip up this hummus, put it in a bowl, and serve it. So, I mean, I might have spent 16 minutes, if that. Honestly, it might not even took me 15 minutes. I mean, I could be exaggerating. To pick all those casings off. Now, home canned, it's a little bit trickier because they're softer. But for this, all I do is the texture is hard enough. Just rub them together and they seriously pop right off. And then I would, if it were me, you don't have to, but if it were me, and I've got it smooth before, you just got to add more liquid. But you can cook them down a little bit more, soften them up, and you're still going to get a very smooth hummus. You do not have to make it into any other special way. What everybody doesn't know, it is those casings. That casing is on there as a protective barrier to the pea. And as a protective barrier, it doesn't break down so much, and that's where your gritty is coming from. It's not coming from the pea itself. So, and it could be, if you are using this, the texture might be just a little bit hard. To me, as you saw, home canned is still firm yet softer than this. So it came out absolutely amazing. And I love serving hummus on my eggs, scrambled eggs, and I love it on toast even, or slices of bread if I want to make a sandwich. So hummus is amazing, and I could sit there and eat that stuff by the spoonful, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this. I will have the basic recipe in the description box below. Make it your own after that. You can add, like I said, sun-dried tomatoes to this. You can add olive tapenade. You can add roasted red bell peppers, za'atar. Anything that you choose, you can do what you want with it. So, that's it, y'all. I told you it was a very simple process. The only thing that takes time is just remove those casings. And remember, reserve that liquid in your can. Don't throw it away. It adds flavor to your hummus. It really does. I won't throw this juice away until I am absolutely done. And if I have to add more liquid to it, instead of just water, I'm adding my liquid from my chickpeas. So I hope you love this. I hope you give it a try just once. I know it's time consuming, but just once, try it. See if that makes a difference. See if you actually enjoy the texture from it, and find out if that's what it was for you. That's what it was for me. So when I learned about this, it was an aha moment. So until next time, much, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead. Tonight, I'm going to be making some homemade tortillas, fresh milled. I've already done a video on how to make that. And I am going to attempt to make a Southwestern chicken burrito for supper tonight. I'm taking what's left of my chicken breast. I'm going to mill it down basically, or not mill it, but I'm going to grind it down and make it into ground turkey. And that's what I'm going to use for my burrito. So, I love you all. Until next time, we'll see what we get ourselves into. Mwah! Love you.